do with tall tales and humorous speeches, so clearly falls right in the categories. And actually, we're very proud that he's going to represent our club. It would be great if you'd be able to make some time in our calendar to support this. And to make time in our day to attend the speech contest on Monday, September 12th. I'll just share the last two things about the state fair that I enjoy the most in terms of eating, and what I wish I had found that was new to eat that I was not successful in. I think one of the best things that I had at the state fair, which actually sounds fairly healthy, it's actually pretzel wrapped hot dog. Kind of an easy concept, but it was actually very tasty. It's just your pretzel dough, salted, just like a pretzel, and then you wrapped it in a spiral fashion around a hot dog. Went over quite well, actually. Something that I went in search of, because I heard that this was new at the fair this year, but I was not successful in finding, was a chocolate covered jalapeno. So I might have to make another trip.
Did you try this breakfast on?
No, I haven't, but that was quite good too. Was it good?
I didn't go.
Sausage wrapped in pancakes, deep fried, and then lots of maple syrup. Matt is going now.
I think the things that are more killer are like the tumble cookies, just because they're there, so you just keep going through it.
That's true.
Those sorts of things are a lot more.
They are incredibly generous as Sweet Martha's, right? They give you these buckets that are overflowing, you can't put the lid on. Just another minute or so. We want to be able to, if we can, I'll give Chris some verbal feedback on today so that he can use that and take that to the September 13th, which is next Monday. All right, well, let's move into the next part of our agenda, and that is table topics. And with that, I will introduce Matt as our table topics master for today.
Spencer? Predictably, our theme this week for table topics will be state fair. I will not tell you anything else about specifically what you'll be asked, but note it will all be state fair in nature. Do we have any volunteers? Jason?
Remember, I'm evaluating.
Jason, you've been selected as a spokesperson for the State Fair Diet. You have 1 to 2 minutes to pitch your deal to a major marketing firm. Let's hear what you have to say about the benefits of this great new fad diet.
Well, tabletop is nice.
Any other volunteers? Alright, well Maggie just gave me the list. We don't have roles. So, Gary?
A roll?
Is he the role?
No.
He's an evaluator. Oh. Alright, well.
Gary,
You have 2 opportunities to speak today. Okay. So you're approaching the end of the day at the state fair and you only have $10 left to spend. You have to spend the $10 on something before you leave. What do you spend it on and why?
Alright, well I did go to the state fair this year on Saturday. I walked in the gate near the haunted house on KDWB station, which doesn't have anything to do with this question, but it was Saturday. It's the first time I went to the fair in about 6 or 7 years, and it reminded me why I didn't go. Because it was so crowded you couldn't move anywhere. The band who was playing at the grandstand that night happened to be at KDWB. And there were these girls with their signs up, "Marry me, so-and-so." And I was like, I got a stroller trying to push through the crowd. I can't go anywhere. But I did finally get out of there and went off. So we spent quite a bit of money on food. I did not get anything that cost $10 exactly. $10 would not cover a bucket of Sweet Martha's cookies. Those are $15. Which, by the way, I was told they make 11,000 of those cookies every 4 minutes. And I heard they make over $1 million for the whole fair. Maybe 2. So if y'all ever get the chance to do that, take it. But for $10, maybe I could buy 2 of one thing. And my son saw on TV that one of the foods at the fair was a fried apple pie. And we got that. And it was really good. That was $5, and it was for the exit, actually, from where we had to go. It was not too far from KDWB. So I would get 2 fried apple pies.
Gary?
Please join Tom Teff for the neuromodulation all-employee meeting beginning promptly at 1 p.m. in the Griffin Auditorium. If you are unable to attend the meeting in person, the meeting will be broadcast on Medtronic TV.
At least I did get that.
There were no homes.
There were no homes. One more. Tom? Your question is, if you were to introduce a new food booth at the Minnesota State Fair, what would you sell and how would you ensure that your product competes with the current deep fried on a stick niche that currently exists in the business model?
Okay, many people have been trying to put food on a stick and sell it at the Minnesota State Fair for a long time. Thanksgiving, when you're watching the football games, there's a thing called the turducken, where they put a turkey and a chicken and a duck all together. Like one gets cooked inside the other, So, not just turkey on a stick, not just chicken on a stick, and not just duck on a stick. I think they should have turducken on a stick. And you could just deep fry the thing, like one of those big fryers that cause all the fires. Just throw it in there, and then have the fire be part of like a special effect. So that you not only get to have turducken on a stick, but you get pyrotechnics. Yeah. That's what I would say.
And our meeting back to our Toastmaster.
Thanks, Matt. That's fascinating. Flaming turducken on a stick. I like that. double duty as well as Gary double duty. We kind of put you into that spot. So appreciate everyone who stepped up to take double duty today. At this time, I would like to reintroduce Alan as a general evaluator. Looking forward to hearing what he has to say.
Madam Toastmaster. Well, we've reached the evaluation portion of our meeting. We'll go first with speech evaluations, which will give the odd counter another chance to count some odd, and they'll also be timed by our timer, Elisa. So let's start with our first speech evaluation. Jason, would you please come up and evaluate our lead speech? Thank you. Jason? Jeremy?
Arlene.
Jason, are you going to talk?
And we're stage ready. Well, you gave your first speech to our group, and I thought it was fantastic. You did a great job. You were a little bit nervous about having notes and using notes, and I found them totally undistracting. So that was just fine. There was nothing wrong with that. You weren't doing this. You weren't. $200. You glanced at him every once in a while. It was totally fine. So you should feel really good about that. You are a great speaker, and I think what you really bring to your speaking experience is you just bring yourself. You know, every time you're up here, people just appreciate that you're the real you. You're genuine, and you communicate well. And so you should feel really good about that. So you had an enjoyable speech. You gave us a window into your life a bit. We got to know you a little bit better. We got to know approximately when your birthday is. And, I thought that was, you really grabbed people's attention with that. That was a great opening. You brought that back around when you closed your speech, so that was great. And we got a flavor for more of who you are. You work in a different building than this one, so we don't get to see you in action day to day. But we got to know you a little better. It would have maybe been good to, well, the questions that I had were, well, what were some of these other groups? I get that I understand a little bit of your personality by what you shared, but I want to know a little bit more. Like what are some of the groups that you've been a part of over the years? And if I knew some specifics, that would tell me some more, but maybe that's for speech number 2. Or
The third one.
yeah. And then I wish I would have had a little more time to think about what maybe visual aid ideas would have been good with this particular speech, but that could have worked very well. It was fine without it, but that would have been a nice addition as well. So,
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Jason. Could we have Gary to give us his evaluation of Chris's speech, please? Gary?
You did a great job on your speech. It was very enjoyable, very entertaining as always. Your speech was vocal variety, and the objectives is to use volume, pitch, rate, and quality to reflect and add meaning to your message. To use pauses and vocal, just vocal louder or softer. So I thought you did a very good job throughout the whole speech. I first noticed that you were using your gestures very well.